Hello everybody. Today we're going to tackle the ancient old question of how can I boil an egg and have it come out looking pretty. You know, all the years I've lived, I have tried many different ways. Mrs. Stedhomer has tried many different ways. Together, she and I have tried even that many more ways. And every single time when we go to peel the egg, half of them, if we're lucky, come out decent, and the other half, basically the white chunks off and you don't get much of the egg left. Well, you all know exactly what that means when you're trying to make deviled eggs. That means you have either a bunch of wasted eggs or a bunch of eggs that you have to eat. Good grief. We have found the perfect solution. So today we're going to start and we're going to show you just how we do it. First off, like everybody knows, when you do something like that, you have to have. So we have our recipe sitting on a recipe stand, and it says hard boil some eggs, and the directions are: number 1, you have to cook them; number 2, you have to shell them; and then of course number 3 means after all of that you got to eat them. That we'll endeavor to do for sure. Right here is what we have to do. Like the last video when we were making Mama's secret recipe, the most important thing, gotta have that. Got the coffee sitting there. But one thing that we're going to do is, even though it says on the recipe to hard boil some eggs, we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is hard steam some eggs. Now, we're lucky that we have this steaming pot. I believe you can all see that. And that's actually what we have used every single time, and it has worked. But from the plans that they said you could even use one of these. Okay, now this is just a steaming basket for vegetables or whatever. I think they're just a neat thing to play with. But today, what we're going to do, see, they just fit down in there just perfectly. But today, we're going to use this one. And here's how we do it. Okay, we bring in our pot over here to the sink, and we're going to put it in. And if you can see, I'm going to try to zoom in so you can tell. We don't put that much water in here. We put just enough water in here to where it barely touches the bottom. That's about it. You can tell by looking in there. That's it. That is all the water we need. Now, you can tell again if I open it up. That's it. There is probably, well, it's up to about my knuckle. That's about all the deeper it is. And that's all we are going to do. And we turn it on high. And we will let that heat up. Now, when this starts steaming, we'll go on and we will introduce our eggs. We're going to try something new that we've never done. We're going to use these eggs. They're green. They're green eggs. We have some ham in the refrigerator, but we're not talking about our green eggs and ham today. We're talking about using these to make sure that they go just as well as what we have been doing, which have been the large white eggs. But we happen to have plenty of these, so we're going to. One of the things we have to do while this is going on is we have to come over here to the sink and we fill it up with cold water. Now it doesn't have to be real full, but enough that when everything is done, and we're not done with this yet either. I'm going to turn it off here. The inside of this, or that little device, if we were using it, will be picked up out of its boiling, steaming situation and plunged into this. But we're not done with this, because we're going to fill that up with ice. The whole idea is to get the eggs to be cooked and steamed to the proper amount of time, and then immediately stop the cooking and don't let it overcook. If it does, that can be part of the problem. We'll be right back. We happen to be lucky enough and blessed with a real nice ice maker, because I sure wouldn't want to empty up the trays, but you know, it can be. You can do that. You can take the trays and you can dump them in there and make some more. But at this point in time, for me, this is how I do it. I always just pull the whole ice maker tray thing out and dump about half of it in here. That way, when it's time and when it's ready, the water will be good, nice, cold, and ready to stop the eggs from cooking. Now, another thing, while we're getting ready to show you what we're doing with the eggs, we're also in the process of making up a pot of Hamburger soup. Now, my best friend BFGT has a website where he demonstrates this and gives the recipe out, and we're giving it a shot today to give it a try. I will put the link to his page down below. You might all want to go take a look at it. It's called Two Family Homestead. And now back to the eggs. Okay, now as you can see, we're steaming and boiling, so we take it off the heat just temporarily. Okay, we bring over the eggs, and today we're going to go ahead and we're going to put in about a dozen. That's just about how much this, they say to do not double stack. We've not done that. And like I said, it has worked beautifully. These are fresh eggs, fresh out of the refrigerator. And we've made 1 dozen of them. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to stick them back on the heat. We're going to cover them up again, making sure the little vent hole is out here so we can see it. Good. It's starting to boil again, and as soon as we start detecting steam coming out, we have to set the timer. Now, the way we have found is, if you do 1 dozen eggs, and do not, again, we recommend that you do not stack them on top of each other. This is all single layer eggs, and it's starting to steam. So single layer, 1 dozen. We're going to set the timer up here to 17 minutes. And we're going. In 17 minutes, believe it or not, those eggs will be done. And I will show that to you as we get there. We'll be back in a little bit. As you've seen, I set the timer for 17 minutes. It's down now to 12 and a half. But what we have found out is, like for a dozen, on a single layer for a dozen, it's anywhere between 15 to 17 minutes in this steamer going full bore. And I can show you, it's steaming. Okay, if you want to go less than that, say half a dozen, then according to what we have come up with. It is, you can go maybe 10 to 12. But we've not done that. We like hard-boiled eggs, we like pickled eggs, we like deviled eggs, so we have always done them a dozen at a time, and I cook them at 17 minutes. And I think when we're done here, Mrs. Stedhomer is going to show you how they peel up, and then we're going to show you exactly what they look like on the inside, and you'll understand. Be back in a minute. Okay, we've gone almost the entire 17 minutes with it steaming. As a matter of fact, we got about 15 more seconds here, and as soon as that buzzer goes off, I turn it off, turn the fire off, and I will immediately immerse this whole thing into the ice water, which by now is just what I called it, ice water. So here we go. Ooh, that is hot. And it is that easy. And we can take this off, and you can see inside here there's almost no water left whatsoever. That's just how little water you put in there. We'll be back in just a few minutes when these are cooled off and start the peeling process. Alright, it's been a few minutes, and Mrs. Stedhomer is going to check this out to see just how well they work this time. And this is what she has done in every case with every egg. And this is exactly how they have always worked. Look how pretty that is. Look how pretty.
Cut it open with the knife.
Okay, she's going to cut this open so that we can take a look inside of it. And in every other case, look at that.
Oh, that's rich yellow. Those.
And look how pretty that is. Quit moving it. In every case, that is exactly what you get. You get a beautiful outside and an absolute beautiful interior. Tonight we gonna be having some deviled eggs. Easy. Our little girl in the house is telling me that it's time for her to get her can of meat. She gets that every night and shares it with her little brother Spirit from outside. And she's telling us it is time. But every single time, we get a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful egg, inside and out. Okay, we're going to leave it at that. We will be back sometime real soon here with another episode. This is Stedhomer. Y'all have a great day. Tell your family and friends, subscribe. Don't forget to give us thumbs up. Catch you the next time. Bye-bye.